I think we might be, you know. How do? Welcome to the worship series live. Now, I've got to figure out straight away that the camera isn't where it normally is. It's over there, isn't it? That's where it is. It's there. Hello, hello. We're going live. Can you tell? It's a bit odd, isn't it? Right. So, life has been wicked. We're here. We're live because I haven't had time to be in the workshop for the last fortnight. So why not build something while we're here on We're Live? We are in the worship series. We need to build a neck. So today and tomorrow, we are going to build a 34-inch scale neck that's going to be for this fretless bass that we're currently making. Now, if you've not come across the worship series before, this is basically, I put a shout out last year saying if you play guitar or bass in a worship setting, then I want to build you a guitar for free. Okay, can't say fairer than that, can we? So yeah, supplying of parts and wood, that's down to you. And then I'll design it and build it. And we kind of to and fro to make sure everybody's happy. So this guitar and bass gets played in a worship setting. Hoorah! Now then, we've already done part one, which was cutting out this, okay? So this is going to be the bass as it is. Can you see on there, we've got these massive F-holes. They're going to be cut out, okay? So totally hollow through there, like an Ampeg scroll bass, I think they're called. That was the original kind of hint that it was going towards. However, they're going to be filled with stained glass. So you're going to need to keep paying attention for future episodes to figure out how the heck we're going to do that, because currently I don't know. Right, the only other thing I like the shape of this. My only concern, however, is that it might just be a little bit big, okay? So one of the things is I'm going to then build the neck today so that we can fit it in the neck pocket and really feel what kind of size we've got. It doesn't feel too bad sitting here like this, but really until the neck's on, it's going to be a little bit difficult to judge. Now, almost every guitar I've ever made have been completely custom. So the whole sizing, proportions, scale, every single one of them is cut to task as we go. Okay, right. Now, I've made a bit of a play with the neck and the fingerboard material and what we're going to use for that fingerboard material. So here comes the big reveal. It's in this box. In this box is a very beautiful chunk of black stuff. Look at that. This is not ebony. It's not black maple. It's a fake wood. Fake wood? Is that right? Sounds a bit trashy if you call it fake wood, doesn't it? It's Richlite. Okay. I don't know whether any of you have used Richlite before. If you have, I'll tell you what, just to make sure things are working, those that are watching now, absolutely live, bang on, well done for arriving and being as early as I was, which wasn't very. Can you just put a comment in now just to see if I can see him? Because currently I don't even know if I can see him. Can you stick a comment in? Is that possible? I should give you a second. Anything? I'm filming this on my iPhone, as I always do, which means the only thing I can see. Hey, hello there, Matt. How you doing? Yep, here, cool. That's fantastic. Barry, I've not used Richlite. No, me neither. So this is an absolute experiment for me. Apparently, it's as hard as, if not slightly harder than ebony. So I've chosen this as a bit of a substitute for ebony because it's one of those woods that there's not a lot of it left. So we need to kind of find alternatives. This apparently is extremely green in the sense of it's environmentally friendly. It's from recycled paper, I think. But they claim it has the same sound properties as a really nice hardwood. You can maybe hear it. It's not got a lot of ring to it, but apparently one of the big things about this is because it is a made produce, its consistency is really good. Hey Paul in Virginia, USA, top man. So yeah, so we're going to use this. Now, apparently it's really hard on tools. So I'm going to try and use a bandsaw with this. And I'm hoping it's not just going to destroy the blade instantly. I'm also hoping that it doesn't chip. All right. So my kind of slight concern with things that are super hard become brittle, and I want to make sure that that isn't the case. I don't want big chunks to go flipping off everywhere. So this is the fretboard material, Richlite. This is what we're using, okay? And the neck itself, you will not be surprised to hear if you've seen my stuff before, that we're using oak, and a great big chunk of it is too. Look at that. Whoa, it's gorgeous. Now then, normally you'd cut that out, and you kind of cut that out. You'd put a truss rod in the middle of it, and you'd just glue those two pieces together, wouldn't you? And then you'd carve the back of it to make it neck shape. But me being me, I'm not going to do that. So I wanted to have, what do you call it, a binding on this neck. Now, I've never done actually a binding before on any of my guitars. I generally think it sometimes looks a little bit fussy, but that's my personal opinion. However, I wanted a binding on this one, but instead of gluing this on to here and then putting a binding on afterwards, this is a fair old Fingerboard. So what I'm going to do is cut this down to size, a little bit narrower than the entire width of the fretboard, and then cut out a groove in here to slot this inside this piece of wood. Right? Now tell me straight away if any of you sounds in and out for me. Anyone else? Well, sounds in and out. Ah, as in the sound. Ah, okay. I'll take the effect thing off, make a little bit more ambient noise, but let's see if that makes a difference. So what we've got is I'm going to inlay this into the oak. That's going to be the plan for this evening. So let's cut this out, run a trench down to recess this into this piece of wood. So then the edge of this piece of wood will become the binding, but flows beautifully into the rest of the neck. It might work, it might not. Channel binding. Is that an official name? If it is, great. If it isn't, I've just invented it. Love that. Woo! Obviously, we still need to put the truss rod in as well. Don't let me forget to put the truss rod in. I might get a little excited with this stuff and just glue this straight in. Don't let me do it. Right, here on in, everybody know, I'm putting it on you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. It's your fault if I forget the truss rod. You need to remind me, okay? Make sure you remind me, otherwise we're in big trouble, okay? Right. Should we crack on? Should we crack on? I'll look at the camera. That one there. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. One of them. One of them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Now, I've set up a few places where we can just set the camera. Something like that. Obviously, all of this sort of stuff is usually vastly edited out. But we can't do that when it's live, can we? Fender used it on their Pretty Select Jazzmaster. I tell you what, you are the fountain of all knowledge, and I like you. You're well done. Right. If you haven't got one of them, go get one. Link's in the description, okay? Because they are brilliant. Okay, so what have we got? The sticker. The sticker can go. This is a sheet of paper. So the nut wants to be, in fact, let's put a center line on this first, shall we? Center finding ruler. If you don't have one, definitely get one. Not an essential piece of kit, but absolutely brilliant to use. Right, okay. I'm going to cheat on this. Instead of putting a center line on and then cutting a 42mm width at this end and whatever it's going to be down this end, I have a perfectly straight line. Why would I need to cut another line? No need to cut another line at all. There's no grain in this stuff. It's not that I've got to keep it all running perfectly straight up. Right, so 42mm is the nut width that we're going for. So I'm going to do 42mm, a little way in from the very edge, okay? So not right at the very, very end. 42 is the width of the complete neck. Right, so Here's thinking then, this wants to be slightly smaller than that. How big should we have either side? 2 mil? 2 mil? Yeah, should we do 2 mil? Yeah, let's do 2 mil. Right, that means we actually want 38 mil of this stuff, don't we? Say yes, Paul. 3 mil. 3 mil. Oh, risky. Now, what I don't want to do is have the strings touch the binding at all, because this is going to be fretless, so I need to make sure that the strings all touch this Richlite, so there's no sound difference between the string touching. You've got me thinking now. Right, what I'm gonna go 2 mil then. Let's go 2. Let's go 2. It's going to be glued in, so I'm not worried about the oak binding being too thin and snapping off, because it's all going to be glued in and become one massive unit, and it's going to do that while it's a great big lump. So 38 it is. That's what we've got. Bosh. Hey, and it marks up quite nicely with a pencil. Isn't that pleasant? Right, so that's what we've got there. We have 38 mil at that point. Now then, going off 4 string. Yes, it is a 4 string fretless. Yep. The width of the neck at the 12th fret. These are the dimensions that I've been given from the person that's going to own this. So here is my diddly-do. Whatchamacallit. What's this called? Scale length ruler, homemade. There's a video on that if you haven't done one or got one. 12th fret is there, and that wants to be 56 mil. That's what's been asked, is that at the 12th fret we have a 56. So again, then we've got to take 4 mil total off that, haven't we? So that then is 52. Scream at me if my maths is wrong. Right, that should do it. So now I should be able to just draw a single line from that point there through that point there. Where's it gone? There it is. I see you. Like that. Okay, so that there, ladies and gentlemen, can you see that line on there? Yeah? That is what we need to cut out. So, me being a tight Yorkshireman, I want less waste. Okay, so that's one of the big reasons why I decided let's just cut one side instead of 2, because then you've got one bigger piece that you can use later on. So this is what we need to cut off, that one strip there. It means it also that we've got kind of like a spare bit at the top, so that if it goes horribly wrong with the bandsaw, we can try something else. So I'm really not sure what the something else might be. So let's set you up here and let's see if this works with El Bando saw. Tiny little hobby one that we've got here. Nothing flash at all. Right, so I'm keeping away from the bit I want to begin with. I don't know how to get rid of noisy sections, okay? So on this live thing, if I'm using a tool, it's probably going to get a bit noisy, and I do apologise for that. Okay, so that's on there. Let's have a look, just right on that corner, let's see. Right, okay. As a test, how did that go? Well, it's cut quite cleanly. Didn't seem to struggle with that either. And on the back, it's not done anything too nasty either. So it's not chipped. It didn't particularly seem to struggle through the bandsaw. So, cool. Right, so let's go all the way through with this then. I'm going to try and keep that pencil line in view, and we'll edge up to that later, probably with some kind of sanding thing. I'm going to try this with a plane while we're here, just as a test thing, but I'm not expecting a cutting blade to be particularly brilliant on this Richlite stuff. So here we go, big long cut. Cutting really nicely, actually. Typical shop problems, you get to the stage where you hit the end. So you've got to pull it back out and start from the opposite side. But that has actually cut really quite nicely through there. It didn't seem to struggle at all, which is really good. So we shall flibbity gibbets, that's the technical phrase by the way, and cut from to the side. There we go. Now, did anybody else see that little comment flash up from Mrs. KBC? Apparently I'm not extending into the garden. No dear, we're going to knock through that wall there and go in the back of the garage. Now, cracking on. That cut remarkably well. It was alright, that was pretty good. Other than typical blade wandering, which tends to happen on little hobby bandsaw things, we now have one of those. Look, there we go. So that's nicely done. I'm gonna have to try and remove that sticker, but now I need to absolutely flatten off that edge. Ooh, went all wonky then. So that needs flattening off, especially where you join at the two and you get the blade wander and it does that kind of thing. So let's figure out, I'm going to try a plane, just because I love planes and I want to see if it works. I'm just interested and intrigued. Right, so let's try should we try a different camera angle that we've got? That, don't fall off. Woohoo! Okay, so let's pop that in there. It smells a little bit rubbery. So as much as this might be green because it's recycled paper stuff, what are they mixing it with to make it hard? I don't know. Right, okay. Favourite tool of all my favourite tools. Yes, the trusty Stanley number 7. Look at that, it's an absolute beauty, isn't it? Right, does that just take off? Hey, it's not bad, you know. Wonky. Resin, lol. Yeah, probably resin, yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? That actually planes really, really nicely. So, I've got too much rubbish in my workshop. Hey, you see, you didn't think you were getting a show, did you? Right, I'm going to stick you back over here. Because otherwise, I'll probably end up blocking everything with the old buttocks. And we don't need, oh shush, we don't need my buttocks on camera, do we? Right, what have we got? There's a thing, there's a thing, with a thing. Okay. Hey, I tell you what, I'm liking this stuff. I was expecting for this to be an absolute nightmare to work with, but it's really rather pleasant. Looking a few places where we're not far off. That's it, lovely. And then a little bit more. Ah, is that chipping off there? No, that's where I cut off that bit. That's okay. That's okay. Very pretty little black curls we've got there. Little bit of rough there. Little bit of rough there. But I think we're almost done. Can you pull a shaving out on this? Doesn't really want to unravel, but it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay, right. I think one more for luck. Okay, I think we are there. Big old straight edge, just to double check these. Nice, lovely. We should, of course, check the pre-cut side that came as is, just to make sure that's straight as well, shouldn't we? Never assume. Here we go. What we got? Yeah, looking good. All right. Sorry, I went all American there. I do apologise. Right, so let's have a look. Always clean your tools off. There we go. Put that back on there. Have you ever seen the shelf up close? So there you go. Nice tools, 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 tools. Have a wall of tools. It's very good. They do get a little dusty though, so when you use it, you got to blow it off a little bit. Small workshop problems. Small workshop problem. Got to extend. Got to extend. Right. So now we have. Look at that. That didn't take very long, did it? Right, I am very nicely impressed with Richlite so far. It cuts really nicely. I don't know what the issues were with it killing tools. It seemed to work really nicely. Even using the hand plane, glides across, really pristine, beautiful glass-like finish, as if it's a really hard wood. But you don't even need to worry about grain direction, because there is none. Having said that, there's no grain. However, can you see there is actually a little bit of a pattern to it? Oh, you can see. Hold it up to the light. There you go. You see that? there is a little bit of a pattern all the way through there. It's on both sides as well. So it's not just blank and looking rubbish. There is actually some feature in there. Now you can get multicoloured ones as well. They come in loads of different colours. So you can get ones that look like rosewood or mahogany or whatever, bits of maple. But they also do multicoloured stacked ones as well that will just look a little bit funky. So that might be a future project, I think. Yeah, maybe. Right. Okay, neck blank then. So the big thing for today is making sure that we can actually glue this into El Neco Blanco so that we can leave it overnight to mess about with actually shaping the neck properly tomorrow. So today's task is to get to the point where we've glued that into there. Okay, so neck blank. Let's have a look at this neck blank, shall we? Beautiful piece of oak. It has got these little nubbins in there that kind of go all the way through, but that's there. The rest of it, pretty clean and rather lovely. Okay, so I think, as far as I'm aware, that I can get right from here down this bit. If we turn that nut round the other way, we can get it where the nut would sit just before that area. Okay, so we can keep away from that, and all the way down here. We put another light on. Oh, we put another light on. Yeah, we can put another light on. So down here, 22nd fret is there. If you can see that. So there is a little bit extra as well to go on the end of there, and we get to keep away from that little thing on there. So that's going to be where the nut's going to be. That can kind of fly out into little bits of headstock, which that will probably just look pretty if we're not avoiding it anyway. So, hurrah. So first thing then, where can I put you? Where's a nice place? Where haven't you been yet? You haven't been there before, have you? Yeah, let's go there then. Right. Here we go. One of them. Yes, it's a crimson one. It is absolutely the best one that I've ever had. I've had a load of the little plastic ones and just, I never trust that they're accurate. Whereas that one does seem to be very rather marvellous. Now then, just to save me a massive headache, I am actually going to put a centre line down here. So I'm going to centre across there. What have we got? It's 45 and 46, so 45 and a half. Smack in the middle. That's there. And we should be able to do exactly the same at this end. Not that you can see it. There we are. One of them. One of them. A little bit of that. Big long ruler. You can never have too many rulers. Despite what anyone tells you, you can never have too many rulers. Ever. Okay, so let's just go right back there with that as well. Nice centre line all the way through. Even though most of that is actually going to get cut out, isn't it? So, while we're thinking on about that, if I put the centre line up to there, this area is going to be cut out where that's going to be recessed in. So let's just make sure we put that centre line down that end bit as well. So we can always find it again afterwards. There we go. No. Make sure it absolutely is. There we go. Beautiful. Et voila. There we go. So we'll never lose that centre line again. Excellent. Now, what did we say back here? We said, I don't know, what did we say? What did we say? Any reminders how big that nut width was? I think, did we say 42? And then this was less, wasn't it? I think that's what we said. Isn't it? Is it? Help me, people. Come on, you're supposed to be my great method of memory. Has anyone remembered truss rods yet? Because I haven't. I've completely forgotten about that truss rod already. Right, stickers off. Hey. 43, 38. 43, 42. Thank you. I was going to say, you're lying to me now, aren't you? Yeah, 42 we had, wasn't we? So 38 is the nut width. Sticker. the sticker came off with no traces. How good's that? How many times do you pull stickers off and it leaves hideous sticky paper muck afterwards? It's gone. I'm liking this more and more. Richlite. Okay, right. So 38 we said. So we need to put a nut line on. Stop sniggering at the back. Where's my pencil gone? Let's say the nut is there. Pretty close. Nice and straight. And then he moves it because he's got fat fingers as well. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Right. Nut. Bosh. Okay. Do you know what I might actually do? Is make that nut thing so permanent. Thank you. You know who you are. So I'm going to put that on there. And let's do that again. But instead of just using a pencil, because pencils can rub out. We all know this. Let's put some score lines in as an absolute definitive. That is a nut line. Let's put a few of them in there. Beautiful. Lovely. Right, so now we can go center finding ruler again. And we can have 38 we said, didn't we? So half of 38. I'm waiting for an answer. Come on. Right, so half of 30 is 15. Plus 8 is 4. There we go. What? No, there. What are you doing? There. Is that right? No, that's right. Helps if you're not blind as well, doesn't it? Yeah, if you're not bog-eyed, it's really, really useful when you're not bog-eyed. When you get up close, because you're getting really old. But you don't go to the opticians because they'll tell you have to wear glasses all the time. Apparently, I mean, you know, some people are like that, aren't they? I don't really know. What have we got? Total of? Is that a total of 38? No, it's not a total of 38. Come on, people. What's going on here? Right, so, centre line. Half of 38 is what? 19, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 19 there, yeah. So that should add up to a grand total of 38. Yeah, you go. That's more better. I'm from the school of gooder English, by the way. If it's not more better, it's less worse. No, that's not right either, is it? Right, and then we said halfway down was 56 minus 4, so 52. So we've got to get, again, where's that 12th? Apparent 12th is there. So let's go 50, whatever it is at that point. Okay, so that's 54 we said. So that's 27. That. And that. Okay, now I'm going to draw a line down there. And then obviously, because we have the piece that we can actually measure off, this is all a bit null and void. I don't know why I'm doing this, because I never normally... Is it your fault? Is it you? Is it that what it's doing? That I'm measuring stuff off and putting marks on by using measurements? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing measuring things? I'm going to complete it now because I like to finish a task, but I never do that, ever. What I always do is work to the actual pieces that I have in my hand. So I'm going to put that line on, but we should absolutely check it with that on there, shouldn't we? Eh? Good grief, yes. So that would go there, like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then that fits down there. You see? You see? Right, so, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to line that up. Let's put a centre line on this now. Now you can see already how much editing I normally do in the videos. Because I totally make everything up as I go along. And then tell you how to do it afterwards. I'm ruining all my secrets here. Right, let's let's have a look. Centre line on here. Bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. Do you like tunes? Do you like singing? Do you sing while you work? Is that something you do? Anyone? You all dead? Oh, that was it. 2 people went. Is that because I sang? Is that what it was? Bet it was. 25, 30. Should probably stop singing then, shouldn't I, really? There we go. One of them. One of them. No, I just listen to music. Well, do you know, I very chance to listen to music in the workshop anymore because I've usually got a camera stuffed in my face. And you can't play music and record at the same time. Otherwise, YouTube kicks you off. So, I'm such a bad singer. I can sing whatever I want and I'm never going to get copyrighted. That's for darn sure, that is. Right. Now we've got a centre line along there. Beautiful. So, I'm going to go up to there, centre line on there, centre line on there. Like that. And then centre line along there at that end. Ooh. Na, 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 na. Like that. Right then. So that's exactly where it needs to be on there now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp that on and I'm going to score it with a knife. That's what I'm going to do. Would you do it different? Measurements are all very well and good in theory, but how many times does theory let you down when you're actually practically doing something? So I tend to find, as much as possible, if I actually work with the item in my hand, I make far less mistakes. Far less mistakes. Right, so that's now clamped on. What have we got? No, when I'm talking to the camera it's quiet, but I use Bluetooth earplugs. Fancy. Occasionally, but again, do you talk in with a mic as well though? Because I tend to find if I've got Bluetooth on, I struggle to talk into mics at the same time. So, there you go. You're finding out all the little secret of the KBC workshop here, aren't you? Right, so, very gently, scoring down here. Trying my best to not let the blade wander along the grain, which is always a bit of an issue when scoring a long grain, is that it wants to take a bit of a shortcut and deviate where the grain goes, doesn't it? So let's keep working with that all the way down the end. Ba-da-da-dum-bum. Oh, are you picking up the sound of the scoring there? Because that's just one of those nice little satisfying ASMR sounds, isn't it? Are you picking that up? Oh, I do like oak. I really do like oak. Right, I'm going to swing that round there without it moving. So then I can come down and do the other side. Da-da-dum. Luckily my camera has a decent built-in mic. Well, it's alright for some. I've recently got these ones. You get a pair of microphones and a receiver. The receiver goes into your whatever it is via the million different connections. So there's like lightning connection for old Apple stuff. There's a USB-C connection for new Apple stuff and anything else. There's also a jack plug connector as well. And they've got a nice little range setting on them. So you can decide how much volume you want to be recording on. Now, that's one of the things I found with other microphones that I've put in the iPhone, is you can't change the input level. So I was really pleased with this new set that you can. So you can take it off maximum so it's not clipping all the time. But you can also turn it down if you need to. Or if you're a bit quiet, whack it up. And it has a little ambient noise filter on here. There's an extra little button on the microphone itself here. So it can just pick up voices to make them just that fraction more accurate. Now, along with scoring, let's just go in with a bucket load of pencil as well. Just to try and make it as obvious as possible that that's what we are doing. Now, one of the big advantages of this technique, because this is a sloping section, all right, is as I put this in and recess it, obviously I'm going to make this as accurate as possible, but because it's tapered, all I'm going to need to do is just knock that way a little bit and it'll instantly tighten up and put everything together. Here we go. If you're interested, that's the microphone setup, newer. I think there's actually quite a few different named brands things. So you get the second one in there. So if the battery on this one starts running a bit low, I can just swap it for another one. Handy. Right, so is that now done enough? Well, we'll have to take it off and see. Woo. Ta-da! Lovely. Right, we have lines. We like lines. Lines are good. So now we've got to lower this area here down by the, I believe it's 8mm thick, this stuff. Okay, so we're going to take this down by 8mm so we can recess the Richlite into this piece, and then we can sort out headstock type areas up here, and we can cut the rest of this off with that extra 2mm all the way down. Laters. So where are we going to put you now? Up there. Let's have a breather from being up close. I like you, but I also need my space, okay? Don't take offence. Right, big, nasty router. 8mm. Is that about 8mm? Something like that? Guesstimate? I'll do, won't it? No? All right then. What have we got? We have... Again, look, put your rulers away. Don't use rulers. Use actual stuff. Your dime bar. Look, there we go. You just put that across, and then you put that to that level, don't you? You thicket. Honestly, I'm all out of whiz because it's live. I'm not thinking straight. Am I trying to be posh? Is that what it is? Trying to look pro. Failing miserably there, I think. Right, what we got there? Does that feel about? Yeah, feels about something like that. So if I lock that in and then relax, that's definitely moved a fraction, I think. Right, I think we're about right there. I think we're about right there. Now, one last thing I need to think about. Ta-da! One of them. Truss rod, if you weren't sure. I'm sure you were really, weren't you? What is the total depth of the super thick bit on this particular truss rod? It is 10mm. Okay. So we're going to need to do a channel in there that's 10mm deep at the nut end. This is 8mm deep. So that means the total height of that plus that is going to be 18mm. Now we've only got about 20mm, 21mm at the first fret. So, yeah, that should be enough. if anything, no, I won't do that. I was thinking I could leave this a little bit proud, because by the time you've put a little bit of a radius on, it'll be okay anyway, and that gives us a bit more meat on the back of here. But actually, none of that's going to make a scrap of difference, is it? No, no, it's not. There you go. I'm just thinking through problems, thinking through possible problems and coming up with solutions that hopefully will work. Right, are we set? Is that the right height? Let's double check that. Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. Right, so let's now put that as a locking thing that we cannot go any deeper than that. There we go. That's that tightened up. So we can't go any deeper than that. That's at the lowest setting down here. So if I now take that off, what that means is I can do little bits at a time rather than try and take 8mm off all in one go, because let's face it, that never ends well. So put truss rod over there, hang that back up on there. Now then, this is probably going to get really noisy for you lot, isn't it? Big nasty router. So what I might do is put my microphone off my jumper and stick it under a duvet or something. Because you don't want to be listening to that through that in there, do you? No, of course you don't. That would just be stupid. Right, so let's have a look, see. Okay, are we ready? I'm going to put some earmuffs on. Super clean, by the way. Oh yeah, health and safety. Right, here we go. Right, so, just so you know again, these things. Magnets. Oh, isn't that good, eh? Look at that, isn't that smart? Right, so, what we're going to do with that, we're going to stick that. I'm going to stick that over there. You might get some ambient noise, but it ain't going to be right in your face. Just, again, remind me about that microphone that's over there, will you? All right? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's get some depth. Yeah, something like that to start us off. And again, I'm just going to go up to, but not including, the pencil line. I hope you can still hear me while that microphone's over there. Let's see. Okay, here we go. One layer done. Look how beautiful oak is. Have you seen it? I mean, come on. Why on earth would you not make a neck out of that stuff? Just fabulous. I say fabulous. You get that? Yeah. Okay, round 2. Oh, should we change it just for a change of scene? Yeah, because that's what all the pros do, isn't it? Keep changing the camera angle, which, you know, mega important. So let's do that. Oh, look at that. God, it's like I've done it before. Right, so what we're going to do, we're doing that. Should we just go down to there now? Yeah, best, hadn't we? Lock that off. Okay, let's trial 2. Well, on a scale of 1, hang on, wait. On a scale of 1 to incredibly, how boring was that? Watching a man routing live. Wow, I tell you what. That is an exciting Saturday evening as far as I'm concerned. Oh, right, there we go. That was fun. God, there you go. Okay, so we've got somewhere near our pencil lines with that, but not perfectly near. I could have got a big straight piece of wood, put a fence on it, used a bearing cutter, doing that. I could do that, but I'm not going to do that. I have these things. They're called chisels. And what we're going to do is we're going to use, I think, Thor's chisel, as it was described in one of my videos. At some point somebody mentioned I love the size of Thor's chisel in the background, so this is it. Ooh, it's a beautiful thing. 50mm, if you're interested. 50mm chisel. Doesn't get a lot of use, but it is good for long straight sections, so that we can put that in there, work our way along, and just kind of trim those edges off. So again, let's let's set you down, shall we? Set you down. Here we go. Whoa, look at that. Right, so if we then take this section off over here, and just do that with it. And just take off little sections like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Now, just realise that, okay, I'm going to move my mic again because my hand sits there a lot as I lean and use my body weight to push that, quite a considerable body weight, to put that down on there. So it means that my hand's on there, and that's probably really annoying to you, isn't it? See how good I am to you lot, eh? Right, so let's shift that again. We shall just place that approximately there. Should do pretty much the same thing, shouldn't it? So I should be able to pare down, in theory, with some of these. Like that. Singing again. You'll lose subscribers, Chris. Stop singing. I can't help myself. You can sing along as well if you want, back at home. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. There we go. Just taking off little wafer thin mints as we go along. So just kind of pushing down. So thankfully I have a groove line, remember, that we did. So it means that if it's a bit on a slightly thick area, I can go inside that groove line and just kind of pare it down a little bit. I'm going to want to take some of that off for show. Okay, and then you can go into that groove line. Just need to find it. It's in there somewhere. There it is. And once it's in that groove line, I can just slightly rock sideways if you want to, and it just helps to just slice down into there to again just take off really skinny little pieces like that, tiny little bits at a time, and then it doesn't do anything funky then. Now while you're doing this, or if you do this, try and go and make sure that we're thinking about that grain direction. Again, as soon as we start using hand tools, we really need to think about grain direction, because otherwise what will happen is if I start here and go that way, the wood that I'm splitting off will split like that and will dig into this bit that I want to keep. So it's really important that I'm starting at this end, so that as I pare down, it's only ever going to split off what I need to split off anyway. If I come in a little bit closer like that, maybe, you might be able to see. If I just put that little edge piece in, I do that. Okay, that little bit that chipped off wants to chip that way. So it's only going to go into the waste stuff. It's not going to completely ruin my day by splitting into the section that I really want to keep. That makes sense? Do I genuinely make sense when I when I give out little pointers? I think I'm making perfect sense as I do these little jobs, but you might not think so. Well, there's 1,000 ways to explain everything, isn't there? I found this being a driving instructor. Never have the same lesson twice. I can tell everybody the same thing, and some people will go, "Yeah, that makes perfect sense," and other people go, "What on earth are you talking about?" So we have to phrase it a different way. If I've ever said something on a YouTube video and you're sat there going, "What on earth are you talking about?" leave a comment and we'll see if we can phrase it a different way. Right? I want to make sure that whatever I do on YouTube is accessible to everybody. It's one of my big things. I want to make sure that anybody feels that they can just pick up a massive chisel like this and cut out a channel into a piece of wood to fit a piece of Richlite in to make themselves a really nice inlaid fretboard. Because why would you not want to do that? I don't want anyone to ever feel like they can't do it because, oh no, I don't have that skill. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do have that skill. You can absolutely have a go. And only through having a go do you then just get that little bit more accurate each time so that it fits really nicely. Yeah, that's running along quite nicely. Should we move along like that for you as well? Oh, look at that. It's like you're moving along with me, isn't it? Oh, marvellous stuff. So in the slightly thicker sections where I've been a little less accurate with the router, I can take off a mildly bigger chunk and then go back to my scribed line. And the issue with scribing lines in the running along the grain is that sometimes they're difficult to find. The grains almost close back up again, which doesn't help us out massively. So you see there, I'm just kind of going down, chipping it out. It's all working rather nicely, I think. So why use a super massive chisel here rather than a thinner one? Well, because with a thinner one, it's easy to go down at a slightly different angle. So a big fat one makes that easier. It's going to make it more consistent from one cut to another. It doesn't mean, you might have noticed, I'm not taking the full 50mm off every time I cut down. I'm genuinely only using about half the chisel, probably not even that. A third of the chisel maybe for actually cutting. The rest of it is just staying in line with the previous cut, making it straighter. Whereas if I used, say, a 20mm chisel, I'd have very little to rest against. So that line could start wandering. Now I know we've got a scribed line to work to, which is great. But that extra width on the chisel will definitely help keep that line straighter and neater. And then we'll get into this far corner here. Once we've trimmed all the way down to the line, we'll get in that far corner. I definitely prefer using hand tools for myself. I'm sort of attached to my hands, you see. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, me too. And I do tend to find that if you use hand tools, your fingers stay attached for longer, which is really good. Power tools can have a nasty habit of kicking and doing things that you don't want them to. Is he singing again? Don't realise how much I'm singing until I realise that actually this is live and can't be edited out later. Right, so as we head over here, see what we'll do, let's shift that, clamp that a little bit further in. Hoorah! There we go. In again. Where's that little scribey line gone? There's one in there somewhere. There it is. Just need to find it. Okay. Lovely. Take a chunk off that one. What else can we talk about while we're doing this? Oh, hey, I tell you what, one of the reasons why I was running late today is because we had a little bit of a do with WhatsApp. Have any of you known, because I certainly didn't know this, that WhatsApp has like a short, like stories that go on for 24 hours? Did you know that? I thought WhatsApp was purely all about texting, getting free texts. Well, it turns out they've got a stories function. And if your settings aren't quite right, it turns out that one of your private messages can accidentally get uploaded onto the stories section. It's not great, is it? So we had a little bit of a mild panic because on one of our phones at home, there was one of the private messages that got sent to somebody, and it ended up getting put on these blooming story things. Who even knew? Thankfully, my fantastic cousin sent me a screenshot and went, did you mean to put this on? To which we went, no, what is it? So go through your WhatsApp. I think it's called Updates, which is a stupid name because it's got nothing to do with, you know, updates like, you know, iPhone 72.4. But do check that, because you might just be finding that you're putting private stuff up for the world to see without you even knowing it, which kind of sucks, doesn't it? No good to anyone. So there you go, a little bit of customer service information there. If you have a WhatsApp, check your settings, because you might just be posting stuff that you didn't want to. He's off again. Now, if anyone can tell me what tune I'm singing, I'll be very impressed, because I'm making it up as I go along. Ba-dum-bum-bum. How many of you start singing a random song that you haven't heard for the last 25 years? Does anyone else do that? Does anyone else do that? I do that all the time. It's like 2 notes and it turns into some Christmas tune that you haven't heard for the last 15 years. Super weird. Right. I think we've got pretty much most of the way down on that side. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a scrape. Doesn't want to though, because that graining's fighting against me there. Just a little scraping again because it's long and flat. It's the La La song. I mean, yeah, sure. The scary thing is, a lot of the tunes I end up coming out with are like really hideous ones that I don't even like. And you think that means that song's embedded in my brain somewhere. It's not nice. Scary thoughts. Right. I think I'm going to call that side almost it. So now, turn the baby round. And we're going to do the same on the other side now. So let's start at this end. Like that. So again, test piece. See which way the grain's running. If I go down there, that's not too bad. Right, that one, I'm going to show you this. Okay, can you see here? Right, you see there? How the split that's on the other side of that chisel is heading towards the pencil line. Can you see that? So what that means is I need to take this chisel and start at the other end and go that way along instead. Otherwise, we're going to have some nasty chip out sections. So let's move that over there. Always nice to have a test piece. A lot of wood will kind of do exactly what you expect it to do. Some doesn't. Some of them will have what looks like the grain running in one direction, but actually it's running in completely opposite. So do make sure you're checking. Don't just assume everything's going to be spot on first time every time, because it might just throw you a curveball and leave you in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what kind of phrase that was, but you know what I mean. There we go. Yeah, and that one, so that's split and then it's gone up that way into this waste section. So I know we're on the right track, making sure that nothing bad's going to happen. I do not want to ruin this and have to do it again, because that would suck. Right, there we go. Ba-da-bum. Ba-da-bum, 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 ba-da-bum. Like that. Where are you in the world? And how warm / cold is it? Right here in the UK, especially up north, it's been pigging freezing for ages. We've barely hit double figures for the last couple of weeks. It's been really, really chilly. So we've had a bit of wind, a little bit of rain, but generally fairly sunny. But it's been freezing cold. Now there might be a few meteorologists watching. I mean, unlikely, but it could happen. I don't understand weather. I don't get it. How the hell can it be sunny one day and be really cold, and be sunny the next day and be really hot? Did the world just trip up and fall closer to the sun? Is that what goes on? I don't understand. I'm a practical man, and that doesn't make any sense to me, but there we go. Right. Move along. There we are. That again. Like that. Would you like to sit somewhere else for a minute? Because I'm aware that, you know, just sitting close up probably isn't the greatest thing in the world sometimes. Tell you what, I'll put you back over here. Chilly here. Didn't quite see who that was. Chilly here. What country are you? Where are you? Where are you sitting? I think it's chilly everywhere at the minute, isn't it? We're watching the MotoGP today because we love the MotoGP. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And that's in Jerez, in Spain, Español. And they've had some rainy stuff going on. Yeah. The rain in Spain and all that falls on the racetrack and creates some really fantastic racing. It's really, really good, really entertaining. Probably not for so much for those that crashed, but hey, you know, all for the good of the sport and all that. Right, we're getting there, folks, I promise. Now, once we've done this, you're all going to type in the comments, truss rod, aren't you? As much as possible, so that I don't just get all excited and glue this Richlite, what's it called? That black stuff. Can't afford to just glue that in and then go, oh nuts, I forgot the truss rod. I mean, we could put a skunk scrape on the back and put the truss rod in from the back end, but I'd rather not because I think it'll look daft. I'm presuming Fendi did that as a production cost cutting thing. And any other information on that? Anyone? Why would you put the truss rod in from the back rather than the front on a separate piece of wood with a chance of it blowing out? Is it down to cost cutting, or is there a practical reason? Southampton, wet again, isn't it? You know? Da 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 da. Now, if you think these worship series that we're doing, this is the second one, you don't put separate fretboard on. That's a darn good point, that. And again, is that then a cost-cutting thing? One plank of wood? It's probably, and it's the reason why they've got a flat headstock, isn't it? And then you have to put those hideous string tree things on. Can't stand those. Can't stand those string tree things. Hideous. What else were we saying about? Oh yeah, worship series. If you like the idea of the worship series, well, books are closed, so if you play guitar in a worship group setting and you haven't already contacted me, I'm afraid all the spaces are taken so far. There's at least another, I think, 6 or 7 in the pipeline. So they'll be coming up over the next year, because I'm only part-time at this and I don't have all the hours in the world, which is a shame because I'd really like that. if you would like to support me so that I could make more of them, there's many ways of doing that. If CNC is one program without flipping the piece over, maybe. Yeah, I think probably cost cutting. Yeah. I also suspect you're on a delay from what I'm doing live as well. So if I'm interrupting myself with comments from what I'm talking about, it's because I'm reading stuff and going. Anywho, worship series. One of the best things you can do is grab some merch. Links in description. I do seriously highly recommend my coffee cup, which is still there. And still warm. If slightly covered in wood chippings. You could join Patreon. I have a Patreon, to which, other than live stuff, you'll get early access to videos and a few other little chatty conversation-y bits. What else could you do? You could click the thanks button on a video if you wanted to do that. I don't know if super chats are available currently on this live stream. Absolutely no idea. But if you'd like to do that, I'd be eternally grateful. I would love to be on YouTube, make guitars and other interesting wood related things permanently. I'd love to do that. But unfortunately, bills need paying. So I have to be a driving instructor as well as do all of this. And well, you know, people trying to kill you every day. I'd rather work with a load of sharp tools. To be brutally honest. Right, we are almost at the end now. Ooh. Right, so let's have a look. Shall we now? Big arms. Look at the length of that arm. Isn't that amazing? Right, let's go back over here. We can give this a bit of a scrape down again now. To snug fit up that end. What's going on? Are we going that way or that way? Make mine up that way, okay. Ba-da-da-da-da-ba-bum. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da-ba-bum. Nope, that's the wrong way to go. Let's go this way. So what I need to do is, once this is scraped off, we'll try and slide that board in and see if it fits nice and looks decent. Hopefully it will. This middle section doesn't want to play a ball. Oh, that. Right. I think we might have something there. That just needs a little bit of that going in that way. Now, some people will be screaming at the screen at this point, going, "Never point the chisel towards yourself." Well, do you know what? You see, there's a great big lip there that's 8mm thick. If my chisel can slip out of there, then that's a really pathetic piece of wood and an incredibly sharp chisel. So actually, that's really sharp doing that. I wouldn't do it there, because yes, you're likely to give yourself a circumcision, and I am not Jewish. So, let's put that there. And let's leave that topic alone, shall we? Right, there we are. I think we've got something. Let's have a look. That might just be getting too big. Too big. Too big. Let's just do that. Instead, smaller chisel. Just put that down there to give us a nice sharp edge inside. Right, so let us see what we've got. Can we just put that into there. Now at this end, that's obviously going to work really nicely. As we push that forwards, it's tightening up in some places. Okay, so it needs to go a bit further in. So you can just see there's sections. It's where you can now check and see exactly what's going on. So as we look down here, there's a bit there that wants taken out. There's a bit around there that wants taken out. Is that up to the scratch mark? No, I don't think so. And then that side doesn't look too bad. That side doesn't look too bad at all. That side definitely has a chunk in the middle that just needs to be nipped out. And then we can tap that further in as we're gluing it after we've put the truss rod on. After we've put the truss rod on. Right, so it's stuck now. There we go. Woo. Okay. Right, what have we got here? Can't see any of that there. Must be a squaring thing. Okay. Right, so yeah, there's definitely a section that needs to come off along there. Do you whistle? Do you whistle? Ooh, have you gone? Are we there? We're still there? We're still there. Ooh, battery was running flat then. Ooh, hey. We might have to wind this up. Okay, so I think we've got something like, we're getting close to, aren't we? Yeah, that definitely wants that trimming off like that. And what I don't want to do is speed up because my battery's running flat and then ruin everything. That would be bad, wouldn't it? Oh, yup. Okay. That was looking good. That one there. What's a bit more off that bit? Faux show. Faux shizzles. Yeah, put that off there. And then that to be done like that's definitely dip in that middle section for some reason. Bit odd, but there we go. So yes, whistling. Singing tunes is one thing, whistling. I have found a growing number of people of the youthery variety can't whistle. Now, I find that to be a really sad state of affairs, that the youth of today can't whistle. It's bad. I think it's a bad thing. Any thoughts? Right. Here we go. Have we got it? Have we got it now? Let's have a look. That is more betterer. That is definitely fitting in there more betterer now. It's gone further in that time. Yeah. Right, okay, and that's gone past there, so that's good. They don't identify as whistlers. Yeah, you bang on there, mate. Right. I think I'm pretty happy with how that's gone in. I may use something like that fret leveling. Now, there isn't going to be any fret leveling on this base because it's a fretless base. Yeah, shocker. But this is currently my fret leveling thing. It's just a block of wood. It's just plain flat, using the trusty number 7, and then put some sandpaper on, and it levels things off. You don't have to spend £1 million to get the tool that does the job. Now, this might also work, though a smaller one, to kind of go in there. So it's going to need to be smaller to sit inside of that, and just run up and down like that, to make sure that that edge is as smooth as possible. Okay, right. That's what's going to happen, folks. Do you like it? Does that work for you? We recess that in there. That's going to go in. That's going to get cut into there. Does that make sense, what we're doing so far? Yeah? Then we're going to have headstock on the end of there, but with 4 holes in, not 6. Right? And then after that, we're going to cut this off really thin down here, and then we can shape all that off. Now, how long have we been going? 86 minutes, nearly an hour and a half. And you good folk have been sat there watching someone route a channel and waffle on about now and sing far too much, let's face it, for a good hour and a half now. So I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to put the truss rod channel in, and I'm going to put the truss rod in, and I'm going to glue this fretboard into this channel. Truss rod! Yeah, you're absolutely right. You don't need to see that. You've seen truss rod channels being cut before. If you haven't, there's a stack of videos in my whole library about doing truss rods, either with routers or without. Yes, you can do a truss rod with a 6mm chisel. Okay, trust me, it absolutely can be done. I've done a video on it. If you want to check that out, please do. Loads of links in the descriptions. I'm gonna crack on with this, and I'm gonna sign off from here. We're going to be back on live again, if you folk can take more of it, and I really hope you can. We're going to be back again tomorrow afternoon, Sunday, 2 o'clock. I shall try and be on time, though the MotoGP may have just finished, so you never know. And hopefully we'll come back to here. This will be glued in and all set, and then we can shape the neck to match up to fit that body. Okay? Right, thank you so much, guys, for hanging around and listening to me waffle on for ages. This is a first live thing I've ever done. It's been really great, and I really appreciate all your comments. Thank you very much. Check out all the links in the descriptions, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a good night. And good night. Now, where's the off button? Off button? Off button? Off button. Is there an off button anywhere? Is it there? There's.